All right, guys, what is going on? It is July 15th. It's Friday afternoon. I just got out of work a little bit ago. It's about that time of year, guys. Can you guess what it is? I'll give you 3 guesses, and the first 2 don't count. Trail cameras. I haven't put any cameras out this year. I guess I've always kind of waited till later in the summer, I guess, to put out trail cameras. It's actually a little early for me, believe it or not. Usually I put up cameras sometime around the beginning of August, but I'll actually be on vacation at that point, so I'm going to put them out about a week or so early here. Kind of trying to race some thunderstorms here. It's starting to sprinkle a little bit, but it's supposed to stop, and then I might get a little gap here in the rain to get some cameras out. I stopped at Walmart on the way here, grabbed a bunch of batteries. I'm gonna get my cameras all set up here while it's sprinkling. I got maybe 2 or 3 spots on the Frank farm where I'd like to get up some cameras, and then a spot or 2 on the farm down the road where I'm hunting that big 12-pointer that I want to get some cameras up there pretty badly as well. I'm gonna take you guys along with me, kind of show you my thought process, why I'm hanging these cameras where I'm hanging them. Hopefully we get some good pictures of some deers. Okay. All right, guys, so I just got that, I use a lot of those spy points. I bought a bunch of them, I think 2 years ago. They're really nice, cheap little cameras. They really are. The only problem is, like, every time, every 3 months you have to, like, update the firmware, and it's just a huge hassle. Also, the batteries don't last very well on them, so that's kind of a bummer, especially for, like, a cell cam. So I'm about to hang my first camera of the year. And I'm just sneaking down in here into one of my it's definitely raining. This is one of my favorite locations, so we're gonna hurry up because I can feel the rain coming, and I really don't want my camera to get wet. I usually end up hanging a camera here almost every year, and when I get down in here I'll explain it to you. Ooh. Definitely getting wet walking through this shit. I'm only running about 7 cameras this year, and 4 of those are cell cams. And to get the most out of the cell cams, I feel like what you want to do is put those cameras in areas that are well off the beaten path, far back near your, bedding area setups, early season bedding area setups. That's what I'm doing with this first camera. Now this is my killing tree stand. I've had a camera here probably every year for the last 5 years since I killed a big 8-pointer Andre the Giant out of this stand. And I killed another big 12-pointer out of this stand as well. But it's a really good trail, and there's always good deer movement on it. I'm gonna get this camera up. I got a mock scrape that I made here, like I think it's almost 2 years old now. I mean, works phenomenal. So you just get a ton of pictures. But I'm gonna hang this camera real quick and get out of here. So hang on. We got to stand up in this tree right here. It starts getting dark, and then there's a big main trail that comes down along this ridge and pops down here and then cuts straight this way along the edge of the swamp that runs north and south. Here I got a mock scrape. I just freshened it up a little bit and The spy point's right about here. So hopefully should get some pictures of some decent deer on this one. So here comes the rain. I got another spot down here at the south end of the farm that is right up tight to this bedding area. It's the south end bedding area. You guys have seen me talk about it probably 100 times. I've hunted it a few times. It's where I saw Frank last year opening day. So there's a real nice gas well drive that runs along pretty much the entire north side of that bedding area. And there's a ton of trails that cut across that, deer leaving the bedding area in the evenings or coming back in the mornings. So I want to get a camera on that well road. It's hard to tell, but out here is a huge bean field. And then this swamp runs north and south along the whole farm, and there's a big finger of it that comes out here and shoots to the east towards the farmhouse. And then there's this big, kind of real thick, gnarly woodlot that's kind of smack dab in the middle of the south end of this farm. And then we got more beans over here. And I know for a fact these deer love to bed. These mature bucks on this farm love to bed on the south end of the farm here. It's a little grown up right now. I might have to come in here with a brush hog and clean it up one day, but this access trail runs kind of just along the very north edge of this tree line. And I put the camera right back in here. You can see, I don't know if you can tell, but there's a big old apple tree right here. And it's really dropping a bunch of apples, or it's going to be dropping a bunch of apples here. So hopefully that brings some deer in, but yeah. We'll see what happens. I got about four more cameras here to put out, so let's get moving here. All right, guys, so I just finished hanging those two cameras down there at the south end of the Frank farm, and that's kind of where Frank was hanging out last year, so I'm really hoping that he shows up again. I got a few pictures of him down on that south end of the farm, so cross your fingers. Hopefully he shows up. That would be amazing if he showed up. Oh my God. I'm gonna save one of my cell cams for the property down the road where I'm hunting that big 12 pointer. So that 12 pointer was hanging around a lot last year on this farm I'm headed to. So back in here's where I'm about to put this camera, and there's already deer out in the field. I'm gonna try and sneak back. I think I can get around them without bumping them. So. There's deer out in this field already. I think that rain coming through has got them up on their feet. I think I'm gonna put my spy point here. There's a perfect tree right here that kind of overlooks this whole corner of this field here. And there's a really, really nice trail coming out right here. Hopefully this works out. I'll tell you what, guys, these little screw-in trail camera adapters, holders that you get, I got another one here that you can get from Walmart. They're like $8 for 3 of them. Pretty sweet, I gotta say. It's a little nicer than using a strap sometimes, depending on the tree, I guess. Alright, that should be pretty good. And now I just gotta make sure this thing's working. God, these bugs are horrible. I got bit on top of the head and I got like the biggest freaking welt. Holy crap. Starting to rain again too. Come on. Work for me. Work for me. God, it's a mess. Bingo, baby. Let's get out of here. Alright guys, well I just got back to my truck. It's still just sprinkling, but there is a big thunderstorm, a big stretch of thunderstorms coming. While it's still sprinkling, I'm gonna drive past a few farms here, a few big fields that kind of butt up to a lot of the properties I hunt. Just see if I can't see any deer out in the field. I'm hoping all these deer are kind of acting like those other two, out a little early eating. Boy, look at her. 250, 300 yards away, and she's just snorting at me. It's hilarious. Alright, we'll leave you alone. There's a buck with some brow tines on him right there. Now we're probably less than a quarter mile from my farm where I can hunt. Man, look at the brow tines on him. I want to see him turn his head. He's on a piece of land that's probably less than a quarter mile from where I can hunt. That might be a shooter there, boys. And it's only mid-June, so I feel like they still got a long way to grow. But with those brow tines, that makes you think he's going to be a good deer. And he definitely looked like he was out past his ears a little bit. Well guys, that was a pretty cool evening. Thanks for following me along while I hung some trail cameras tonight. Driving around these farms that butt up to the property I can hunt, it's definitely worth it, and I urge you guys to try it too. You know, get in the truck and take a drive one evening, especially on these real rainy days when it clears up in the evening for a little bit. These deer like to pile into these bean fields, and I'll tell you what, you know, you might not have those bucks on your property in the summertime, but they're in the fall. Those bucks, their summer ranges change so much throughout the year. They could be half mile, a mile away from where you hunt at this time of year. So it definitely is worth it, I think, to get out and drive around and glass these fields in the evenings. And to me, it's great intel. Like that buck I found tonight, he's a decent looking buck. It's still really early in the year to be determining whether they're a shooter or not. He's got a lot left to grow, but man, you can tell with those brow tines he was growing, he could be a really good deer. And that's within a quarter mile of the land that I hunt. He could very easily find his way over to my property sometime in the fall, especially during the rut when you got dozing heat and deer running around like crazy. So it's definitely worth it. Get out. I urge you guys to try it too, because who knows, maybe you'll find the next world record that way. You never know. But anyways, as always, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you guys like this video if you got anything out of it, if you enjoyed it whatsoever. Please think about subscribing to my channel. It really helps me out. We'll see you guys on the next one. So have a good one. That might be a shooter there, boys.